For the city commission, roll call please.
Smith.
Here.
Weinreich.
Here.
Wright.
Here.
Robish.
Present.
Mayor Harrington.
Present. Pledge of allegiance please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda approval, do we have any additions or deletions to our agenda tonight? Seeing none, a roll call vote for the adoption of the agenda.
I'd move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second, we have a motion by Commissioner Bragg and second by Commissioner Weinrich. Now we'll have a roll call vote.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Public forum, public comments may be sent during a live meeting broadcast in the city's YouTube channel. The link is listed on the city's website at www.husd.city-government. In order to use the YouTube chat feature, please create an account with YouTube and Gmail or use your existing accounts. Please state your name and address for the record. Public forum is limited to 3 minutes per person. And our HR director, Nathan Hofer, is sitting on the computer in the back of the room. And if you have any questions, you can use YouTube to get the questions to Nathan, and he will ask us to stop and answer a question if we can. So with that, is there any public forum tonight from the committee? All right, seeing none, moving on. Consent agenda. Matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and will be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion. Unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item, items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. Today's agenda is 4.1, minutes of October 4th, 2021, City Commission. 4.2, fuel quotes for city departments. 4.3, personnel items. Terminate Dana Huber from the seasonal Broad and Creek Pro Shop position. Number 2, recommends promotion of Andrea Hofer to the patrol sergeant position. Number 3, recognize that Isaiah Cutter, Park Maintenance 2, has finished his 1,040 hours of probation, is now eligible for supplementary benefits. Recognize that police officer Cole Long has finished his 1,040 hours of probation and is also eligible for supplementary benefits. 4.4, payment of the bills. Number 5, bid quote. Oh, I need a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Move to approve consent.
Second.
Moved to approve by Commissioner Smith and seconded by Commissioner Robish. Now we'll have a roll call vote.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Now we'll move on to bid quotes. I would guess that Assistant Engineer Dennis Bennett would be able to speak on number 5.1.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. This is progress payment for Manning Excavating for the Vantage Parks sanitary sewer. The sewer is all installed, just need to do some cleanup and final maintenance on it. Recommend approval of the progress payment.
Okay. Need a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Winters moved to approve and second by Commissioner Robish. Any discussion on this topic? Commissioner Robish?
Thank you there. Mr. Bennett, can you tell me how we're doing with the Custer Avenue crossing?
That will be paved. Milling starts Tuesday. They'll start paving, milling starts Wednesday. They'll start paving next Tuesday. And that's one of the first items on the list, so.
How long do you anticipate that would be closed again?
2 days.
That's fine.
Yep, gonna have to put 2 lifts in, so it has to cool to get the second lift on, so.
Sure, that's fine. I guess I would just request, not 100% sure where those road closed signs were. There was a lot of opposition to where they were placed, to where people knew that the road was closed before it was too late.
They were right at Highway 14, and that's where the detour started, so I guess, I don't know I'll talk to Troy about it though.
Yeah, just take a look at it.
Yep.
Along those same lines, we got a message from the livestock auctioneers out there, and they were very pleased with the work that was done so they could get their sale in. So they really appreciated the effort that the city and the employers that we had doing that work got the work done, so they got their sale. So that was nice to receive. It's always nice to receive good conversation from our public. So appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
just a real quick follow-up. So this is just the mending, so like the extra dollars that we did for the boring and all that is separate? This is
Nope,
just-
nope. All that was under Manning's contract.
Okay.
So,
So this is the total,
Boring.
including all that?
yep, the boring of this was 151,000, something like that.
With this second change order.
Yeah.
Okay.
$132,618.
So this now, so all that stuff is covered with this
Yeah.
final payment?
Yep.
Thank
Well,
you.
this is not final.
Okay,
We will have one when they're all done seeding and cleanup and all that stuff too, so.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions for Dennis on this topic? Seeing none, I have a motion to approve. And a second. Need a roll call vote?
Smith.
Aye.
Wainwright.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Number 7, ordinance and resolutions, and our city attorney Tucker Valesky will handle this topic.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. 7.1 is the first reading of ordinance number 2227-5-132 pertaining to business licenses and regulations, cannabis establishments license. Consider setting the second reading for October 25th. So in the agenda is the ordinance scheme relating to the cannabis establishment license. Does require a license. There's a process for obtaining the license. There's a process for renewal and transfer of the license. There's also a process for suspension and revocation of the license, and for an appeal of the suspension or revocation. So it's a full scheme. I've reviewed it, I think it's reasonable, and would recommend approval.
Okay. Need a motion to approve?
Move to approve first reading of ordinance number 2227-5-132.
Thank you, Commissioner Weiners. Need a second on this motion?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Smith. Any discussion?
So this one still, we still don't have the fees, right? This is,
So, yes. We have the fees that we want to put into a resolution. In the ordinance, we have them set by resolution, so we look at them annually. So that resolution will come with it next week for the second reading. But we're looking at following somewhat of what the state fees are. Like we talked during the other ordinance discussion, the conditional use permit application fee will be $1,000. The actual cannabis establishment license will be $5,000 to the city. The annual renewal is $5,000. There is some transfers that can be done for name and ownership changes. And if you actually move the place of business, you can't transfer it to somebody else. And those fees are $250. And then we talked this morning about there's a reinstatement fee for suspended or revoked licenses that we're setting at $7,500 to reissue. So that will come next week, but those are the fees we've been talking about. And kind of follow what the county is doing as well.
thank you.
I think along those same lines, in reading and having been in meetings with other cities, those are very, very along the same lines, other cities, the Yankees of the world and the Vermilions of the world. So we're not jumping anything new on anybody. Most of the states gonna be about the same. So, any other questions on this? Yes, Richard.
And I guess I didn't look at it, but how many again are there?
There are 4 within the city,
2 within the joint jurisdiction area. And then the county will most likely be at 2.
So there could be 8.
8 within
Beagle County.
Beetle County. A maximum of 6 within 3 miles.
Right. Yep.
And our ordinances, for technical purposes, did not differentiate between any of the facilities. We kept that language broad so that there could be any of those 4 within this, the 3-mile jurisdiction and the city of Huron.
Any other questions for this, on this topic from the commission? Yes, Mr. Brad.
So just to follow up, and I know we can handle this more next week,
That's
but you
okay.
said as far as the transfer, so you can transfer if you move, but it's not something that's a saleable asset. That's what, because I know it
Correct.
says it.
Correct. You can transfer if you move your place of business or if you add ownership. So say, I have a business, I want to add you to my ownership, that's considered a transfer too. And so it's $250, and then the state has to approve that as well.
And then we would have to, through the zoning, because your conditional use is based on your location, that would come first. And then they have to go through that process.
Any other questions on this topic? All right, seeing none, I entertain a roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Nay?
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. All right, moving on to departmental items. Consider recommendation to the appraisal committee for the surplus dispatch councils. I see our chief of police is here tonight with all that information.
Thank you, Mayor. Our dispatch supervisor and another dispatcher got a hold of everybody they could think of that would need a new dispatch console since we replaced ours, and nobody is interested in it. So pretty much they're worth scrap value, which is the cost of iron, which I believe is 7 cents a pound. So we're just asking to maybe see if somebody will be interested in it and get whatever we can out of it.
So no value.
Question though,
Sure.
what is, explain to me, what are these, what is it?
The dispatch console, if you go down to our dispatch center right now, they're in a cubicle which has the parts that raise up. They can raise their computer monitors up to 6 computer monitors on a pedestal. The old ones had the raising and lowering front and back pedestals, and I believe 2 of those have stopped working. It's the metal framework that holds up the dispatch console around where they're at, that stored all of their equipment. The new ones have heat and air attached to them, which I thought was a little overboard, but that's what came with the system. They have lights, so they can light up their workstation in a dimmer light. It's a blue light. They can control how bright it is, so they can see when they're doing their paperwork. It's not supposed to be so harsh in their eyes. So they got the current one off a PSAP grant, and that's why nobody else wants them, because they're doing the same thing. There's a state grant that went out to all these answering points, and they bought new systems. So we're hoping to maybe, if there's anybody that's interested in them, at a smaller PSAP, maybe they could use them. But as of right now, there's no interest, so we've found in the state. Any other questions?
Need a motion to approve the surplus dispatch, surpluses, councils?
I would recommend to surplus the councils.
Okay, motion, I need a second on that motion.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Smith. Roll call vote, please, or any more discussion, I guess. Roll call vote.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Finally, on departmental items is 8.2. The State of the City luncheon will be held at noon on Thursday, October 21st at the Huron Event Center. We have invited our department heads to come along. Told them they wouldn't have to speak, but they would get a free lunch out of it. So I'm hoping they do come along to, and if we have some questions for them, we can obviously pull them out of the crowd and ask questions. So As far as commissioners goes, you've got about anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes to talk on your departments, what you think is important and newsworthy to the people that are going to be sitting there. I will introduce each one of you, probably say something about how long you've been with us or what, but then sit down and relax. So with that, do we have any more for tonight? See, now I'd entertain a roll call, or a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, pull it out.
All right.
That was intense.
There we go.